Okay, tell me like from day one where you're coming from and where you grew up and everything like that.
Okay, I was born and raised in Roosevelt, Long Island.
Oh, okay, nice.
And basically born and raised there. I, was, living life, going through what I was going through. And I think it's an interesting story how I even got into doing.
Okay.
I was sort of a career criminal at the time. You know what I mean? I was locked up from 14 to 15, got locked back up from 16 to 17.
And what kind of stuff are you getting into?
Robberies and drug charges, gun possession, like that. Just you know what I mean?
Would you describe yourself as the person who had to get into that kind of stuff, or was it optional?
That's a great question, because my family was there, mother and father, even though it was my stepfather, but he was there since birth, and it was always love. So I can't blame it on, a bad upbringing. Right. I can't say that I had a bad upbringing, but at some point, when you're young, you want to get it the way you want to get it, and you might want more than your parents could provide. So you got to go out there and hustle. Mm-hmm. So I got caught up in that, right? And it smacked me all upside my head.
Really?
Yeah.
So you weren't ready for it when you went into jail the first time?
You're never ready to go to jail. You adjust. When you get there, you never plan to go to jail. When you get there, you adjust as the days go on. Each day is a different adjustment. And then you just turn into this whole jail at some point. And it just gets, it gets creepy.
But did that happen to you at 14 or?
Yes, I remember at 14, did a robbery and I was charged in as an adult. So they charged me in as an adult, but they put me in the juvenile penitentiary. And I'll never forget when they closed that door behind me, I was like, wow, this is real. You know what I'm saying? But about a week later.
But why would they put you in an adult penitentiary if you're 14?
No, I went to a juvenile penitentiary. I was charged in as an adult.
Oh, all right.
At 15.
Right.
But they took me they couldn't put me in an adult facility.
Right, I was thinking that's just a recipe for disaster.
No, they couldn't do that. No, not till you're 16.
Right.
Then they put you in the regular jail at 16. Then they put you in a particular part of the jail. Then you turn 18. Then you go to just where everybody else at. So they keep, even in jail, they keep the younger cats in their own lane. Right. They don't put them with the adults until you turn 18. They might be right across the hall. So that day you turn 18, pack up, put you right across the hall. Right. With the people 18 and older.
And so did you find yourself changing from day one? Like how did you change as a person as a result?
You have no choice. You just, either you're going to turn into a monster or you're not going to fare well in there. You know what I'm saying? So you got to, you know what I'm saying? It's a process of just turning into this person that you have to turn into in order to survive. You know what I'm saying?
And, okay, so after that, you get released, but then you get picked up again. So you basically didn't learn your lesson the first time around?
No, not at all. Not at all. And that's hard to explain, because I need, like, why? You understand the consequences is, why would you go back and do dumb again? Right. But you don't listen. But that last time, and this is what brought me into even doing, I did 7 years. From 17, I didn't come home till I was 26. Oh, so at that point, I came home like, all right, let me relax. I went to school, did all the square shit I needed to do. As soon as my head started going back, and probably like 2 years later, I started doing street again. That's when let me rewind back. Justin Slayer is who put me on. Okay. Justin Slayer is who put me on. Shout out to Justin Slayer. He put me on. Can't front on him. That's what it is. Shout out to him. He was already asking me a year previous to come out. I had just came home. I didn't want to leave my community. I'm having a good time. I'm home. I'm free. I didn't want to go to California. I'm from New York.
Right. So like another planet.
Yeah, it's like
you're
I've
curious.
never even been to no California. Or I've been nowhere at this point in my life.
Right.
So I kept saying no, but I see myself starting to get into doing the criminal that I was previously into.
But how did this person even know that you would have any kind of interest or any potential in the adult world?
So I appreciate you asking that, because I'm jumping past. I guess it's your job to bring me back, right? Okay. And this is true story, right? I'm in the hood. I'm buying from the dude that sell DVDs out his van. You know what I'm talking about. No pause.
Now it's so easy for everybody, but the old days, you're just a horny dude.
You had to go get some DVDs, and you had your collection and your DVDs. So I was a fan before I got involved, just like half the people that I realized in America. You know what I'm saying? Now that I became who I am, I realized, it's a lot of people that's involved in that. But anyway, so I'm asking the DVD guy questions, like where he getting his DVD from. And we cool, he's from my community. Then he told me, he said, there's this cop that he shoots when his days off and his free time, he shoots and do these sex parties. So I'm like, okay. The cop that I be seeing in the community, it's a black cop. I was like, okay. So one day, I see him sitting in his cop car. I walk up to the cop car, like, yo, I heard that you shoot, you do this, that, and the other. He was like, yeah, I do. Matter of fact, I'm throwing a party this week in Jersey. Come. I'm in New York. It's like an hour and a half drive or maybe 2. So I said, okay, cool. I pull up. It was a freak party, people having sex or whatever. The dude that owned Pictorial magazine was there. You remember that? The book, Pictorial.
Right.
Yeah, he was the editor and owner, he was there. So me not knowing no better, you see some girls around, they like, yo, you could I was like, yeah. I threw the condom on and everybody around, camera rolling. I didn't think nothing of it. It wasn't like this should be hard to me or I shouldn't be able to do this in front of all these people or this camera rolling. I wasn't even thinking none of that. First of all, I just came home. You put some in front of me. I'm like, yo, listen, let's go.
Yeah.
So I did it and I did a good job. And he came up to me after that, like, yo, would you want to pose in a magazine? So that's the first thing I did. I ended up posing in a magazine. It wasn't, you sex to get hard. You know how you sex to get hard, but you just really taking pictures, pretty girls, basically. So that's all that was. It wasn't a sex scene. Sex to get hard and just take the picture, that type of shit. And that was the first thing I did. And after I did that, that's when Justin Slayer got connected with that same cop dude, because the cop dude was initially his business partner, his cameraman plus business partner. They went in together. So he introduced me to Justin Slayer. Just before Justin Slayer was coming into the business, I met him, and I think we went back to Jersey or something. I had met him, right, and we stayed in touch. We got cool. So now I'm still going to the same DVD dude, buying my DVDs, doing what I do. I see him. I'm like, oh shit, he's doing this thing. I know this guy. That's my guy. Okay, cool. Meanwhile, he telling me to come, but I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I see him winning awards at the AVN. I was like, wow, this guy really doing this thing. I still was like, I'm cool. And then now we get to me going back to doing dumb street. So then I took his offer. I was like, yo, listen, you keep talking this, she want me to come out, like, what's good? I swear to you, like a week later, it was a one-way ticket in my mailbox to California. Mind you, I just said I'd never been nowhere, none of that. So I told everybody that I was going to do security for I'm going to go do shit, because I just came home. I was, big dude, it made sense. So I'm going to do security for some acting people out in Hollywood. They flying me out. That's what I told the community, everybody. Never came back.
Really?
I ain't come back even to visit till like a year later. Mind you, now, next thing you know, I'm in Europe. I'm in Brazil. I never had a passport, never had a visa. They hooked all that up for me. All expense paid. Per diem while I didn't pay for nothing while I'm there. Then get back and get a check. I said, oh, I'm never going back for what?